am now 120 pages through A Study in Drowning, and I have thoughts. So I am a bit conflicted on Effie's character. I think it's quite apparent that she does suffer with some sort of maybe anxiety disorder or schizophrenia. I'm not 100% certain, but she constantly says about her pink pills and how she needs to take them, and how her mother is really toxic towards her and how that makes her feel as though she needs to take them more. And I think that part was really shown when she arrived and from the train, and she went to the phone booth and tried to call her mother, and her mother was like, just take your pills, just take your pills. And I definitely feel as though like that makes me really sympathise with Effie and really like her. But then on the other hand, we have this kind of conflict between her and Preston, and I don't know, I just feel as though it's somewhat over dramatized and somewhat over dramatic, and I know that's just the nature of fiction, but I am really adoring their relationship. I'm loving the ominous tones that this kind of area is bringing, the fact that she was with the shepherd and he gave her the stones to look for the fairy king, and loving how it's woven in with elements of fairy tales. I think that's so fun, and it kind of just reminds me a little bit of T. Kingfisher's book. Like the author that's mentioned here reminds me of a T. Kingfisher novel, and so I think that's what I'm pairing in my head, because that has these kind of whimsical elements and you don't know what's real and what's not. So yeah, I'm not that far through, but so far I'm just loving the reference to literature. I am somewhat enjoying Preston and Effie's relationship, although I think that the war and the politics woven into this is interesting to read. I didn't quite anticipate it, and I also found that some of the points in which she says it feels unnecessary, like about his heritage and where he's come from and the prejudice she has about that. It just feels really outdated and unnecessary, and I don't feel as though there's much need for it to be that brute and that forceful, and it's left me feeling a little bit uneasy. But I'm going to continue on making my way through because I am having a fun time so far, loving the fact that she's redesigning the house and that they've just teamed up for his thesis and that he said he'd give credit. I'm not 100% trusting of the author's son. I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now, and really interested to meet the author's widowed wife, because she has become like an anonymous character in this too. So yes, these are my thoughts so far. A little bit rambly, a little bit discombobulated, but I can't really have coherent thoughts at this time, but I'll keep you updated if anything happens or if I have any more revelations about this book. Oh my goodness, I finished A Study in Drowning and it was so good. So good, that ending, the whole discussion and whole themes around female suppression and just getting back at the men in charge and getting back at misogyny, and it actually being our female person who wrote the book and having a female author, that was so good. And the heartfelt conversation that Effie had with her and with her ghost was just, it really hurt my heart because it just felt so wholesome and so true. And I just absolutely adored this one. It was full of fairy tales and trickery and magic and whimsy and romance and academia, and it was just so good. It was so good. The atmosphere, the writing, the characters, the dynamics between them, the suspense, the thriller elements, it just all felt so beautifully crafted and created and done. And I just thought this was a phenomenal read. I'm so glad that this one was the book club pick for this month because I had so much fun reading this. It's definitely going in my top tier, definitely going in the great tier. This book was great, superb. and so many parts of this I just wanted to underline and annotate and dive deeper into. And that's why I love reading academic books, because it just makes me want to study them and connect with them. And I didn't annotate any of this because I was just so in it. And I think it's really hard sometimes when you want to really connect with the words, because I do often want to annotate, but I'm just so immersed in the story that I just know picking up my pen, I'll just be thinking about what I want to say rather than just the words on the page, and I just end up flipping through the book so quickly that I just forget. So I think I'm going to go back now and underline a few key things, but this was so good. So good, and I really hope that you enjoyed it too. Thank you ever so much for coming on this adventure with me today, friends. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on a study in drowning. Very excited to see what pick we choose for the month of August. And yeah, thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a wonderful day or night. Until next time, bye.